Okay, so with 10 HP, 1 attack, and 1 defense, the costume Bowser is pretty easy. Hammer with Mario, attack with Bombette or Cooper, and save your items for the actual Koopa Bros is a typical strategy. But I decided to use my 1 Thunderbolt here to shorten this battle and get to the Koopa Bros faster. Other than that, it's just attacking with Mario and Bombette. Alright, time for the actual Koopa Bros. Their spin attack does the amount of damage equal to the number of Koopa Bros left. So at the start of the battle 4, from when it's gone 3, etc, etc. They're basically 4 normal Koopas with 5 HP instead of 4. There are a ton of different ways to beat these guys efficiently. I decided to use the items I currently have on me, but there are plenty of different ways to thrash these guys in 2 or 3 turns. As for me, turn 1, I knock them down. Turn 2, I use a Fire Flower. And turn 3, I use a Pow Block. With a whopping 40 HP, 3 attack, and 0 defense, Buzzar is a pretty tough optional boss this early in the game. He practically begs you to use your new partner, Paracarry, to help take him down. So that's what I did. Buzzar is pretty vulnerable to the Dizzy status effect, and when he's afflicted with it, it lasts for 4 turns. Paracarry's Shell Shot does 5 damage, so I brought a ton of Goom Nuts to continuously refresh my FP and have Paracarry spam Spell Shot. Once Buzzar is out of this Dizzy status, he's already taken 20 damage. I brought 2 Dizzy Dials so that if both worked, Buzzar would never be able to attack. In the off chance that the Dizzy Dial failed, I would have just kept cycling through restoring FP and Shell Shot until I had to use Refresh to recover Mario's HP. Provided that at least 1 Dizzy Dial worked, that would have still been enough to take Buzzar down without too much trouble. Because I'm out of FP to use Shell Shot this turn, I just use Skydive, but it doesn't matter in the slightest whether or not I perform the action command for it successfully. Buzzar's at 19 health at this point, so it'll still take 4 more turns to defeat him with Shell Shot. And with that, Buzzar has been defeated without him. With 30 HP, 3 attack, and 0 defense, you'd wonder why Tutankoopa is a big threat. I mean, Buzzar has better stats than him. The trick Tutankoopa has up his sleeve is his ability to call a Chain Chomp that has 4 HP, 3 attack, and a whopping 3 defense, as well as attack Mario and his partner. In this game, when Mario's partner is attacked, they're unable to perform any actions for the amount of damage they take, so having them unable to battle can really change up your strategy. With that said, I brought a few items to ensure I wouldn't have too much trouble. My general strategy going in was to use Lightning Bolt and Shell Shot first turn, then cycle between Lightning Bolt and Skydive, taking out Chain Chomp when he's summoned with Lightning Bolt. Unfortunately, I missed my block with Parry Carry, so he's out for 2 turns. I knew Tutankoopa would summon a Chain Chomp the next turn, so I used my final Lightning Bolt on him, and then used Refresh next turn to set up for the win with Shell Shot and a Fire Flower. So let's talk some strategy. To be honest, I think my item loadout was preparing for the Master's first form, but it worked out nicely against Electro Blooper too. He has 50 HP, 4 attack, and the ability to electrify his body, which prevents Mario from jumping on him and increases his attack power to 6. I had 2 Dizzy Dials with me, and Bloopers are pretty susceptible to the Dizzy status, so I used both of them and the 2 Goom Nuts I had to Shell Shot him, then just spammed Thunderbolts and Skydive until he charged himself up with electricity. At that point, he was low enough for 1 more Shell Shot, so I used Refresh to recharge my FP and end the battle there. Alright, here we go. With 50 HP, a whopping 6 attack, and 0 defense, Tubba Blubba's heart can be a really tough enemy due to the giant spike in damage being dealt. He also has a charge tag that does 12 damage if it connects. That's a one-hit KO for Mario. Luckily, he needs a turn to charge it, and spends the first 4 turns trying to. In these 4 turns, I use 4 Thunderbolts and attack once with Bow, preventing Mario's death by using Out of Sight the other 2. One thing to note about Out of Sight is that Bo cannot attack the next turn after using it. After he attempts using his charge move twice, he'll attack normally. Unfortunately, even with proper blocking, his normal attack 2-hit KOs Mario. Because Tubba Blubba's heart's normal attack 2-hit KOs Mario, I brought the Super Shrooms for healing. I was about to use one, then realized that I needed FP in case he decided to try charging again, so I used Refresh here instead. I was going to attack with Mario here, but I took a small moment to do a damage calculation. I had used 5 Thunderbolts for 25 damage, attacked with Jump twice for 8 damage, and Bo had attacked twice for 8 damage. That put Tubba Blubba's heart at 9 HP left. Now, in this particular battle, you don't need to reduce his heart's HP to 0. You only need to get him to below 5 HP. Knowing this, I decided to heal Mario for the next part of the fight and finish the battle off. On to the battle. The strategy here was simple. Mario switches between using Dizzy Dial and Thunderbolt while Bo uses Smack. The Master has 50 HP, a whopping 6 attack, and 0 defense, so he can knock out Mario in only 2 hits even if I guard. I brought an extra Dizzy Dial just in case one didn't work early on, and then just filled up the rest of my items with Thunderbolts. Because the Master can knock out Mario in 2 hits, this battle has a little bit of a luck factor added to it. I couldn't miss 2 Dizzy Dials in a row, otherwise I would lose. I mentioned before that I couldn't miss 2 Dizzy Dials in a row. At this point, I was wondering if I needed that extra Dizzy Dial or if I had done enough damage to just use a Thunderbolt and Smack to finish the battle and not risk Dizzy Dial failing again. After a pause where I did some math to see how much damage I'd done, I found that I had done enough damage and could just use a Thunderbolt and Smack to win. And that's the Master's first form. Mash that like. Battle time. Anti-Guy isn't just all talk. With 50 HP and 2 different attacks that do 10 and 12 damage respectively, he's probably one of the hardest enemies to defeat in a level 0 run. If he were more resistant to Dizzy Dials. I quite literally brought the same items I used against the Master's first form to this fight. And the strategy is basically the same. I cycle between Dizzy Dial and Thunderbolt with Mario, and Smack with Bo. The only difference is, I only want to miss 1 Dizzy Dial, because if he decides to use the performance move that does 12 damage, I lose. If I miss a Dizzy Dial, I can use Bo's out of sight to dodge a move, but in a perfect scenario, I'd only want to do this once. This next part required some improvising. I miss a Dizzy Dial and use Bo's out of sight to dodge Anti-Guy's attack. The next turn, I miss Dizzy Dial again and luckily get the attack that only does 10 damage. With a successful dodge, I still had a chance since I had already done a lot of damage. However, I wasn't sure if a Thunderbolt and Smack would get the job done. So to ensure that I did enough damage, I used a Thunderbolt, then out of sight with Bo to dodge another attack, and finished off Anti-Guy with Starstorm. I was very lucky that I missed my last 2 Dizzy Dials instead of in the beginning or towards the middle of the match. And that's Anti-Guy. On to the battle. The Big Lantern Ghost has 40 HP, 5 attack, and 0 defense. Because you can't hit the Big Lantern Ghost if the room is too dark, I used Bo to light up the room and then used Thunderbolts with Mario to do damage. Once I ran out of Thunderbolts, I locked him using Dizzy Dials, hit him a few more times, and secured my victory. I didn't bring any healing items due to my having 3 uses of Refresh in case my health dipped too low. In this battle, I only needed to use it once. Normally, Bo being out of commission for 2 turns would be awful, and it's still damage that I'm missing, but that gives me an extra turn or 2 to use Thunderbolts and attack freely without needing Bo to make the room bright again. I knew the Big Lantern Ghost was going to make the room dark this turn since he had attacked the previous turn, but I accidentally misclicked and attacked the Lantern instead. Let's get into the battle. The difficulty of this battle comes from the fact that you have to take out various units of General Guy's army before fighting him. First, it's the Shy Squad. They have 15 HP, 0 defense, 1 attack, but they attack as many times as there are Shy Guys left. When you attack them, you reduce the number of Shy Guys in the squad by how much damage you do. Because I didn't want to deal with having to block multiple attacks, I used a Volt Shroom since it makes them only attack once. Once they're at low HP, the rest of the squad gets too scared and runs away. Next are the Stilt Guys. This is the easiest part of the fight. They have 7 HP, 4 attack, and 0 defense, so they actually pack quite a punch, but you can just Star Store them to get rid of them both. Next are the Shy Stacks. They have 10 HP, 0 defense, and their attack is dependent on how many Shy Guys in the stack are left, so they start out with 4 attack. There's a lot of ways to deal with these guys, but I decided to use a Dizzy Dial to render both stacks incapable of attacking, then cut them both down while they're dizzy since they become dizzy for 3 turns. After that, it's General Guy himself and his toy tank. General Guy has 30 HP, 4 attack, and 2 defense thanks to his toy tank. The light bulb on this toy tank has 8 HP and a whopping 5 attack with 0 defense. The light bulb resists all electric attacks except for Watt's, so in order to prevent the light bulb from attacking, I use a shooting star and Watt to take it out, as a normal jump attack and Watt at this point only does 7 damage. Once I take out the light bulb, I use the Thunderbolt I had on me to do some extra damage, and then just hammer, Starstorm, and Electro Dash with Watt until General Guy's down. If you're wondering why I had all those mushrooms and super shrooms, it's because once the light bulb is gone, there's no way for him to really take me down if I have enough mushrooms. And that's General Guy. On to the battle. I brought one stopwatch because it has a pretty good chance of affecting all of them, and that's crucial to me surviving the first phase, which is harder than the second phase. Lava Piranha has 40 HP, 5 attack, and 0 defense, and the Lava Buds have 8 HP each, 4 attack, and 0 defense. I had to get rid of the Lava Buds before they could attack me, so I used my stopwatch to stop all of them. I then use a combination of Starstorm and Thunder Rage to take them out, and then just focus on the Lava Piranha. I missed 2 guards on Lava Piranha's attacks, so I used the Super Shrooms I brought just for that occasion since I wasn't feeling too comfortable with my guards. Once I managed to guard its attack successfully, I attack and finish him off. And that's Wait. Huh? That's right, Lava Piranha has a second fight now that it's been engulfed in flames. The flames add some extra power. Lava Piranha has recovered back to 40 HP, retained 0 defense, but now has a monstrous 7 attack. The Lava Buds have 8 HP still, but now they spit out Petite Piranhas, which have 1 HP, 0 defense, and 6 attack, instead of attacking Mario directly. This fight is supposed to feature Sushi and her Ultra Rank skill, Tidal Wave, but I don't need that when I've got some Snowman dolls. Because of the new fire element added to the Lava Piranha, cold and water-based attacks now double in their damage, and the Lava Piranha and Lava Buds now become unable to move for a little while when hit by one of those two elements. And that's why the second phase is much easier. Due to the snowman dolls, the lava piranha doesn't even get to attack me as I wail on it. And now the fight. With 70 HP, 3 attack, and a whopping 6 defense, Kenshi Koopa is a force to be reckoned with. Add onto that an extra attack that does 10 damage, and you've got yourself an incredibly hard optional boss. If he weren't so susceptible to sleep. My strategy was simple. Turn 1, I put him to sleep with Lullaby and attack with Watt for damage. Turn 2, I flip him over with a jump and switch to Bow, and then proceed to use Hammer and Smack until he wakes up. Then I use Lullaby again and rinse and repeat this cycle until he's defeated. When flipped over, you can target his tail, which has 0 defense. Unfortunately, at this point, he resists Lullaby twice in a row, so I had to guard his ground pound to not be KO'd, and then use Out of Sight the second time to give myself an extra chance at using Lullaby again. The next Lullaby finally affected him, and I finished him off shortly afterwards. And that's Kenshi Koopa. Okay, let the battle begin. My strategy going into the first few turns is easy. Spam chill out in attacks, and use a snowman when I can't create any more tough puffs. For your reference, Alpha Puff has 60 HP, 5 attack, and 0 defense. The tough puffs have an attack of 2 and 2 HP. So when I use Chill Out on Huff N Puff, all the Tough Puffs that are created afterwards are also affected by Chill Out, meaning that the Tough Puffs do no damage to Mario. This lets me focus on dealing damage and getting rid of the Tough Puffs, since Huff N Puff can heal the number of Tough Puffs currently on screen. Here's what Bo's Out of Sight is for. Huff N Puff has a charge attack that deals 12 damage, enough to easily defeat Mario in one hit. Now that I don't have enough star power readily available to me for Chill Out, I'll be going through what I'm thinking each turn. Here, I'm debating whether or not to attack with Jump or use the Snowman. Huff N Puff hadn't healed in a while, so I thought I'd play it safe and destroy the current Tough Puffs and let him only recover back 4 HP. I had forgotten how many turns of Chill Out had passed on this turn, and was debating on using Focus to guarantee myself the ability to use Chill Out the next turn if I needed to. However, I decided to attack, feeling I needed to do more damage. I had some Super Shrooms in my inventory anyway. Because Chill Out didn't fade from Huff N Puff, I used this opportunity to lay on more damage with Bo and get rid of the Tough Puffs with another snowman. At this point, I could have decided to jump on a Tough Puff to get rid of it, but I needed to make sure I wasn't running out of star power, especially since I knew I'd be needing to use Chill Out again very soon. So I used Focus before hiding without a sight. There was really only one option here that I had, Chill Out. I didn't want to take unnecessary damage. No reason not to attack here. Nothing was stopping me with Chill Out still active. Because Huff N Puff's charge move can defeat Mario in one hit, I had to use the Super Soda I brought to regain my FP. Huff N Puff's HP is pretty low at this point, and I really wanted to attack with Jump and pile on some extra damage so I could finish him quickly, but I could only move with Mario this turn. Given that I can't take damage due to Chill Out being active and Huff N Puff hadn't used his heal move in a while, I convinced myself that using Focus was the best choice, to give myself a little extra star power so I could use Chill Out again. Because I didn't have enough star power for Chill Out, I needed star power, and fast, otherwise I would lose in the next couple of turns. To that end, I decided to not create any Tough Puffs and focus on getting star power. This turn, I use Focus and choose to do nothing with Bo so that no Tough Puffs are created. At this point, I have enough star power for Chill Out, but I know that I'm going to need some FP and HP later on, and so I use Focus again to get closer to being able to use Refresh either after or just before I use Chill Out. Once again, I choose to do nothing with Bo so that no Tough Puffs are created. Now that I've only got a turn or two left for the third bar of the star gauge to replenish naturally, I use Chill Out and attack with Bo. I don't want to use my last snowman yet, so I use focus and hide with out of sight. I really didn't think Huff N Puff was going to heal this turn, so instead of using focus, I decided to attack with jump. Chill Out is still active, so I try to begin setting up to use my last snowman and attack with both Mario and Bo. Unfortunately, Chill Out fades, and next turn, I will lose if I don't heal. I bank on the hunch that Huff N Puff is going to use his charge move this turn, and so instead of using a Super Shroom, I use the refresh I had made sure to have handy from a few turns before. Huff N Puff did indeed start charging up, and so I used my last snowman since he's pretty low already. At this point, I know I can win with Starstorm and Smack. I just need a little more star power. I don't have enough star power for Chill Out or Starstorm, so I had to heal to make sure I wasn't defeated this turn. And now begins the focus spamming. This turn, I use focus and choose to do nothing with Bo to once again not create any tough buffs. I didn't want to be taking any more damage from them. The next turn, I use focus again to get enough star power to use Starstorm next turn, and out of sight with Bo. Because Bo can't move the turn after she uses out of sight, I focus one more time instead of attacking to not create any more tough puffs. And next turn, I finish Huff N Puff off with Starstorm and Smack. And that's Huff N Puff. He was easily one of the... On to the battle. The Master's second form has 70 HP, 8 attack, and 0 defense. He's no joke. Luckily, he's still pretty weak to Dizzy. First turn I used Chill Out just in case the Dizzy Dials failed. From there, I used Dizzy Dials, attack with Bow, and used Thunderbolts. In essence, this is the same strategy I used against his first form, but with the addition of Chill Out so that I don't die. If Chill Out ran out and a Dizzy Dial didn't work, I would use Bows out of sight to dodge the attack and repeat the cycle. I brought 2 Super Shrooms to keep this cycle up. At the very end here, once I'm out of items, I knew Chill Out was going to run out, and so I used Refresh to stay alive and attacked with Bow. I then used the Ultra Hammer and Bow's out of sight to give me an extra turn to use the Ultra Hammer again, and do 12 damage instead of 10, just in case I needed the extra damage to take him out. And that's the Master's second form. You guys are in for a treat for the final fight, the regular or Electro Blooper. Anyway, on to the battle. So, Super Blooper is pretty strong. He's got 70 HP, 5 attack, 0 defense, the ability to create blooper babies that have 6 HP, 0 defense, and 2 attack, and can charge to do a devastating 2-hit attack that does 10 damage per hit. However, this will never happen. Like the rest of the bloopers, Super Blooper is weak to the Dizzy status, so I spam Dizzy Dial plus Thunderbolt plus Smack. Once the Thunderbolts run out, I use Smack and Jump, and Super Blooper goes down, never having a chance to attack. And that's Super Blooper. If you like this on to the battle. Junior Troopa has 50 HP, a whopping 8 attack, and 1 defense. You'd think he'd be easier than the Master's second form, but that's wrong. He's more resistant to status, so it becomes incredibly difficult to reliably use them on him and plan a strategy around him. However, unlike the Master's second form, he only has 1 type of attack, so I used that to my advantage. Instead of trying to use items, I used Watt's Power Shock to try and paralyze him. First turn, Power Shock failed, so I used a Dizzy Dial because I was at max HP. That failed. Because I guarded the oncoming attack, I try a Power Shock again, and it fails. I use a Refresh, confident in my guarding. Once I was in peril, what I did next depended on if Junior Troopa was actually affected by status. If he was, I attacked twice with Mario and once with Watt for a total of 13 damage. If he wasn't affected, I would use the Super Shroom and start that entire process over. If he was paralyzed, I used the Super Shroom after he recovered from it to restart the process. I basically repeated this cycle until I knew I could knock him out without having to heal and restart the process over. And that's Junior Troopa's 5th form. It looked easy here, but believe... Alright, here we go. The Crystal King. This guy's a monster. 70 HP, 6 attack, 2 defense, the ability to heal 20 HP twice, the ability to create clones on the ground and in the air, a supercharged attack with those clones that does 8 damage, and he can summon crystal bits that he spits out for 4 damage each. But we have a secret weapon. Chill out. My strategy going in was star power management. Chill Out reduces the crystal bit spit attack to 1 damage each. That's still a lot added up over a few turns, so good guarding was crucial to the success of this fight. Also, his Ice Beam attack does 3 damage with Chill Out active, but it has a good chance of freezing Mario if he doesn't guard. And if I fail that guard and get frozen, that's basically death. The first few rounds of combat are pretty similar. He almost always summons crystal bits a couple times, so I just spammed attacking and Chill Out until my star power ran out. From there, I started to switch between items, attacking, and using focus to keep him at bay and be able to use Chill Out when I needed to. One of the reasons why star power management is so important is because the Crystal King can heal 20 HP twice. This effectively makes his HP 110, not 70, and that's a lot of turns taken to whittle him down. But Chill Out does more than just reduce his attack by 3. It also tells me which illusion is the real Crystal King due to the way the animation works when a new enemy is applied Chill Out. Because 2 new Crystal Kings have appeared, they get the animation as if Chill Out had just been applied to them, while the real one still has it and it just sticks. You have to pay attention, but it basically negates the use of items like Thunder Rage and Shooting Star. The reason I use them is because Mario's jump does pitiful damage to him, and honestly, the extra bit of damage didn't hurt. I could go through this turn by turn like I did with Huff N Puff, but I think this is something you just need to watch and see how important star power management is in Paper Mario 64. So I'm going to stop talking now, and the rest of the battle I will not be commentating, so enjoy it, guys. And that's the Crystal King. On to the fight. This fight strategy is insanely simple. Starstorm, out of sight, Repel Gel, Shooting Star, Smack, and then do it all over again. Once I run out of FP, I just use the 1 honey syrup I have to replenish FP and keep the cycle going. What? Did you expect some flashy, elegant solution? Ha! These guys are way too tough for me to not dip into cheesy strats to win. As a refresher, anti-guys have 50 HP, 0 defense, and 2 attacks, a dash that does 10 damage, and a flashy jump that does 12 damage. And that's the anti-guy. On to the battle. My strategy here is very similar to what it was the last time we fought him. Try to inflict status and pray it works, and do damage once we do. Again, I have Watt try to paralyze first so that I get an extra Mario attack, which does more damage, instead of an extra Watt attack. For your reference, Junior Troopa in his final form has 60 HP, 8 attack, and 2 defense. Also, while flying, he has a dive bomb move that does 9 damage, and while in mage form, he can heal for 10 HP. See, every 20 HP of damage you inflict, Junior Troopa will change his form. He starts out in normal form, then moves to flying, and then to mage form. Like last time, if Watt fails to paralyze, I either attack, heal, or try to inflict status with Mario, depending on how much HP, FP, and star power I have left. Near the end here, I used the 2 repel gels I had and some shooting stars to deal more damage and give myself more breathing room, since he double resisted my status twice by this point, and I didn't have the star power to spare to go for it again. And that's the end possible. And for the record, even in this weaker form, Bowser is too strong to prevent the use of Life Shrooms. His first 3 turns in this particular fight are Fire Breath, Star Rod, and then Fire Breath. Because he used the Star Rod, had I used Chill Out turn 1, he would have done 4, and I absolutely must use Star Beam over healing on turn 2, so the next one would have done 7 with properly guarded attack, which is 11 damage altogether. 1 or 2 is probably the minimum you need if you play this fight extra safe, but I was just going for the quick KO. A few other things. This weaker form of Bowser has 1 defense and can heal once or maybe twice. I'm actually not sure. He only got to heal once this fight. Also, I had to level up FP here because I hit the cap for BP, so now I have to make sure I only use 5 FP when in battle to stay within level 0 restrictions. Okay, that's enough talking. Enjoy the rest of the battle. And the battle begins. As mentioned in my Bowser battle, the strategy here is very similar, but much more defensive. I'll get into that in a little bit. For the first mini phase, the strategy is to pile on as much damage as possible because the damage Bowser takes persists through the cutscene and I heal completely going into the real battle. So, 2 Star Storms and Watt attacks for a combined 20 damage. And now, the real battle begins. As I'm sure you've noticed, I basically just used Starstorm in the previous Bowser battle. This time, I have to be extra conservative because I only have 8 life shrooms. I have 2 Repel Gels, one to get me through the first turn because Bowser starts in his star-powered form, and then again to build up star power when I'm low on life shrooms. The general strategy was to get Bowser to burn his heals as quickly as possible, then go full defensive and preserve Mario as much as possible, while continuously attacking with Watt. Attacking with Mario only when I was at a good HP value, which was usually 8, 9, or 10. How was this possible? Well, if I'm at full HP and I successfully guard Bowser's Claw or Pound attacks, I'm left with 3 HP. If I use Refresh, I can then survive another Claw or Pound if successfully guarded. As I'm sure you've already realized, good guarding was crucial to this run. I lost a few life streams way too early because I missed a guard. Another thing to note is that if I'm at full HP and Bowser decides to use Fire Breath or his lightning attack, and I successfully guard, there's no reason to use Refresh because I'd be left at 6 HP. Basically every attack except his Star Ring attack kills Mario at that point. And because I mentioned his Star Ring attack, generally I just tried to guard with Watt so I didn't lose 3 turns worth of damage. Also, if you miss the guard for Bowser's Pound attack, you lose an option, whether it be item, jump, or hammer. And of course, I lost hammer. Because of this, I used Starstorm as a replacement attack, which is what I had intended it to be for. See, Bowser has a semi-cycle going. Every 3 to 5 turns, Bowser will use a Star Rod to power himself up. This free turn usually always resulted in me being able to have Refresh on deck at all times, even though I floated around 0 to 1 units of star power the rest of the fight after using Starstorm to attack. Near the end, I utilized this cycle knowledge. I won't spoil how because the ending is pretty awesome. And because there's so much going on in the battle, I'm not going to be commentating every turn. So, enjoy the rest of the fight. Also, just a quick FYI, but to keep the suspense up, I'm not putting up the HP of Bowser this time. And with this, Final Bowser has been defeated. This was by far the hardest boss of the entire run, and I'm really happy with coming up with this strategy all on my own. It was inspired by my Danger Mario run of this game. So let's get right to it. The Master's final form is arguably harder than Bowser's final form. 99 HP, 10 attack, and 1 defense. He can take Mario out in 1 hit if I don't guard. Add on to that a combo move that does 5 then 6 damage, and a triple combo move that does 5 then 6 then 7 damage. He's ridiculous. However, he has one flaw that makes him a piece of cake in level 0 runs compared to Final Bowser, who's the hardest boss for sure. He can't heal. If Final Bowser couldn't heal, this would have almost been a viable strategy for him, besides him using the Star Rod. See, Stone Cap lasts for 3 turns, and the Stone Cap grants temporary invulnerability to damage. So I just use 10 Stone Caps, and Watt gets to attack 3 times per Stone Cap. This gives me a whopping total of 90 unanswered damage from Watt. I think you can guess what happens after that. Yes, the mighty final form of the Master falls to Stone Mario. As a side note, there are probably other, more challenging ways to go about this in level 0, but it involves life shrooms, chill out, etc., etc. This is way funnier. And that's the Master's final form.